Listen and repeat series. Conditional clauses. Past perfect and conditional perfect.
I would have answered the door if you had rung the bell. If the plane had crashed, we should all have been killed. If he had fallen into the river, he would have drowned. If he had worked harder in his youth, he wouldn't be poor now. If I hadn't dropped my glasses, I shouldn't have broken them.
Conditional clauses. Imperative and future.
Listen to me carefully, and I will explain it to you. Knock at the door, and they will let you in. Follow my instructions, and you won't get lost. Let her prove she's innocent, and I'll believe her. Let him prove he is innocent, and we'll set him free. Let's walk faster, and we'll overtake them. Let them come, and I'll talk to them. Take off your wet shoes, or else you'll catch cold. Lend me some money, or else I shan't be able to pay the bill. Drink up your coffee, or else it'll get cold.
Revise your grammar and increase your vocabulary. The possessive case. The soldier's helmet shone in the sun. The sailor's uniform was white as snow. We couldn't hear the singer's voice from the gallery. We could see the conductor's hands from our seats. Tannhäuser was one of my father's favorite operas. The young actor's performance of Othello pleased the audience. My parents' house stands near the river. Our neighbor's garden is full of roses. The Browns' children are very well behaved. The Robertsons' grandchildren are rather naughty. John's drawings are very good. They are better than Mary's. Mike's motorboat is very fast. It is faster than Paul's. Peter's motorbike is very noisy. It is noisier than Henry's. A tiger's fur is smooth and shiny. It is as smooth and shiny as a lion's. St. Paul's Cathedral. St. Paul's is a famous cathedral in London. St. John's Church. We heard Mass at St. John's on New Year's Day. Harrods. I saw some very nice dresses at Harrods. The top of the hill. The bottom of the sea. The steering wheel of a car. The handlebar of a bicycle. The handle of a hammer. The brim of a hat. The steps of a ladder. The sails of a windmill. The leaves of the oak are dark green. The branches of the willow are thin and flexible. Direct and indirect speech continued. I shall never change my mind.
He said he would never change his mind. I will fill your glass if you pass it to me.
My hostess said she would fill my glass if I passed it to her.
I must go at once. I said I had to go at once.
I needn't go next month.
He told me he wouldn't have to go the following month.
Future tags with imperatives.
Pass me the sugar, will you? Go and fetch my coat, will you?
Let me read it for you, shall I? Let's go and get the tickets in advance, shall we?
Come and see me tomorrow, will you? Have another cigarette, will you?
Let me carry your suitcases, shall I? Let's take an early train, shall we? So, neither nor.
She came very late this morning.
So did you.
We are going to Denmark this summer.
So are we.
I've no appetite.
Neither have I.
He doesn't like sausages.
Neither do I.
We didn't go skiing this winter.
Nor did I.
I shan't go to the beach on Sunday.
Nor shall we. Everyday actions. It is 7:30 in the morning and time for James to get up. When the alarm clock rings, James wakes up. He sits up in his bed, rubs his eyes, and stretches his arms. Then he jumps out of bed, puts his slippers on, and throws the window wide open. After that, he goes to the bathroom. And he turns on the hot water tap to get his bath ready. Meanwhile, James brushes his teeth. and shaves himself. After his bath, he rubs himself dry with a towel. Then he dresses and combs his hair. When he is in a hurry, he has a shower instead of a bath. He usually has a cold shower. So all he has to do is turn on the cold water tap, take off his pajamas, and step under the shower. Everyday dialogues in English. At the restaurant. James is dining out tonight. He is in the restaurant ordering his dinner. May I take your order, sir?
I haven't seen a menu yet. May I have one, please?
I'm sorry. I thought the waiter who seated you had given you a menu. Here's one, sir.
There are so many different dishes here that it is hard to decide.
The à la carte dishes are on the left. The regular dinners are on the right-hand page.
I'll have the regular dinner. What do I get with that?
You get soup, meat or fish, and dessert, either fruit or sweets.
Aren't there any hors d'oeuvres with the regular dinner?
No, sir. You get the hors d'oeuvre with the à la carte dishes.
Is there any particular dish you would recommend?
The roast beef is very good tonight. We also have several good chicken dishes, if you like chicken.
I'm not very fond of chicken.
What about mutton? We have some very good lamb chops. Or if you'd rather have veal cutlets, we have some which are very good and tender.
What sort of fish have you got?
We have fillet of sole, fresh salmon, grilled lobster.
I think I'll have some roast beef with fried potatoes.
How do you want your beef? Well done, medium, or underdone?
Well done, please. What salad do I get with the dinner?
You have a choice of lettuce and tomato, or cucumber, radishes, and beetroot.
I'll have the lettuce and tomato salad.
What kind of dressing would you like on your salad?
French dressing, please.
Will you have soup or consommé?
I'll have the cream of mushroom. Before that, I'd like some vermouth, a Cinzano dry, and some clams.
I'm afraid we haven't any clams tonight.
Then I'll have some olives. Will it take long to prepare the meat course?
It will be ready as soon as you finish your vermouth and soup. Will you drink wine?
Yes, I'll have some claret, please.
Very well, sir. And now, would you rather have fruit or a sweet? We have peaches, apricots, plums, pears, or you can have some apple pie, chocolate pudding, custard.
I'll have apple pie, please.
All right. Will you have coffee?
Yes, I'll have coffee and some brandy. And let me have the bill, please.
Vocabulary. Town dwellers. Hectic. Vary. According to. For instance. Until. Elevenses. Londoners. Sandwich. Snack bar. Numerous. Lions' houses. Scattered. Self-service. Cafeteria. Corner houses. Luxurious. Ordinary. Waiters. Waitresses. The city. Merely. Center. Suburb. Miles. Own. Trolleybuses. Trams. The tube. Tubular shape. Traffic jams. Regular. Complex. Underground. Systems. Million. Track. Central. Engineering. Britain. Direct. Termini. Northeastern. Shiny. Aluminium. carriages, capable, thousand. Listen and repeat series. The passive voice. Eggs are sold by the dozen. Omelettes are made from beaten eggs. Milk is measured in liters or quarts. Cheese and butter are made from milk. Wheat is ground into flour. Flour is made into bread. Grapes are eaten raw as a fruit, dried and made into raisins, or crushed and made into wine. The samples were lost in the post. My motorbike has been stolen. His new book will be published next month. Our old house will be demolished, and a new one will be erected. It is hoped that the war will soon be over. It is said that the Queen will visit the exhibition. It was agreed that he would go first and get the tickets. It isn't considered good manners to stare at people. He hasn't been vaccinated against polio yet. Wasn't he operated on by a good surgeon? Who has been appointed mayor of the town? Stars, planets, and satellites.
The Earth is a planet. It is the planet on which we live. The moon is a heavenly body that goes round the Earth. It takes 1 month to go round once. The sun is a star. The Earth goes round the sun. It takes 1 year to go round once. There are many millions of stars in space. We can't see them in daylight because the sun outshines them. The stars are made of glowing gases. They give out heat and light of their own. We can see the stars twinkle high above in the sky on a clear night. Anything that goes round a planet is a satellite. The moon is a satellite that goes round the Earth. There are 9 planets which go round the sun. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto.
Some man-made satellites go around the Earth as well. They have given valuable data on the shape of the Earth. And some transmit information on the Earth's weather every 12 hours. Some artificial satellites have relayed telephone conversations and television programs across the oceans. Unmanned spaceships have circled and photographed the moon's hidden face and have been sent on voyages towards Venus to obtain scientific information. Some manned spacecraft have been launched into Earth orbits, and lately some manned spacecraft have been launched into moon orbits as well. Revise your grammar and increase your vocabulary. Question words.
Who discovered the laws of motion? The laws of motion were discovered by Sir Isaac Newton. Who launched the first man-made satellite? The first man-made satellite was launched by Russian scientists. Whose is this hairdryer? It is mine. Whose is that luggage? It is theirs. Whose are these tools? They are the plumber's. Who are you? I am Francis Ward. What are you? I am a fireman. Who is that young man? He is my nephew. What is he? He is an engine driver. Who is that young woman? She is our niece. What is she? She is a fashion designer.
Causative use of have. You must have your hair cut. You must get the barber to cut your hair. He must have his car repaired. He must get the mechanic to repair his car. We had the kitchen ceiling whitewashed. We got the kitchen ceiling whitewashed last month. They had the gate painted. They got the gate painted green. I had the knives sharpened. Where did you have the knives sharpened? I had my eyes tested yesterday. When did you get your eyes tested last? I shall have my season ticket renewed tomorrow.
I'll get my season ticket renewed before it expires. When will you have the mowing machine mended? I must get the gardener to cut the grass down. Question tags.
He's Polish, isn't he? They're Finnish, aren't they? We aren't late, are we? I'm not too early, am I? You see what I mean, don't you? He works too hard, doesn't he? Mary broke those plates, didn't she? She didn't break those glasses, did she? She won't have her clothes made in Paris, will she? We shan't send in the applications till next week, shall we?
Everyday actions. Helen has a woman who comes in to help her twice a week. Otherwise, she does all the housework herself. She is up and about before 7. After washing and dressing, she goes downstairs to prepare the breakfast. First of all, she goes to the breakfast room and sets the table. Then she goes to the kitchen to prepare the breakfast for the whole family. Bacon and eggs and a cup of tea for her husband. Fruit juice and some toast for herself. And a cereal, porridge or cornflakes for the children. When her husband and the children have left home, Helen clears the table, washes up, and makes the house tidy. She sweeps the floor with a broom, cleans the carpets with a vacuum cleaner, dusts the furniture and makes the beds. After cleaning the house, she goes shopping. She goes to the supermarket close to her home, where she can find all she needs for the house. The charwoman helps her with the washing and ironing, and to clean the house thoroughly twice a week. But Helen usually does all the cooking herself. Everyday dialogues in English. A telephone call. Mr. Brown is in his London office making a telephone call. He dials long distance. Hello? I'd like to make a long-distance call to Glasgow.
What number, please?
2240. Shall I hold the line?
The line is engaged. Please hang up and I'll call you back later.
Thank you. I'll wait for your call.
Hello, this is Holborn Exchange. I'm putting your call through now, sir. Hold the line, please.
Hello? I'd like to speak to Mr. Frank Murray. Is he there?
I'm afraid you have the wrong number. What number were you calling?
I was calling 2240, Mrs. Frank Murray & Co.
This is 2240, but there is no one by the name of Murray here. This is a private residence.
I'm awfully sorry. There must have been some mistake. Mr. Brown dials information.
This is information. May I help you?
I'm trying to locate a Mr. Frank Murray, who has offices at 42 High Street. The company's moved there only recently, and the number is not in the telephone book.
I'll look it up for you. There is an F. Murray and Company, exporters, at 42 High Street. Would that be the firm you want?
Yes, that's the name of the company. What's the number?
Will you write it down, please? It is 2230.
Hello? Frank Murray and Company, exporters.
May I speak to Mr. Murray?
Speaking.
Oh, it's you. I didn't recognize your voice. Brown here.
Well, I'm glad to hear you, Mr. Brown. How are you?
Very well, thank you. I've just got your registered letter.
Well, what's your opinion about it?
I'm awfully sorry to hear such bad news. Hello? Hello? They've cut us off. Hello? We are speaking. Mr. Murray, can you hear me? Vocabulary. Government. Departments. Great Britain. Shortened. GPO. Charge. Postmaster General. Duties. Controls. Telegraphs. Savings bank. Issues. Widows' allowances. Old age pensions. Inland revenue. Income. Taxes. Amount. Postal order. Counter. Sum. Cable. Telegram. Provided. Coins. Receiver. Trunk call. Added. Postcards. Folded. Allow. Without. Enclosed. Quite. Surface mail. Abroad. Green label. International. Pillar boxes. Voucher. Listen and repeat series. The anomalous finites should and ought to. I should attempt it again if I were you. Otherwise, you'll never succeed. You should be more careful with your driving. If you don't want to get into trouble. He should try to keep his temper. He is a very impulsive young man. We should try to simplify matters. If we want to come to an agreement with them. I shouldn't do that if I were you. You'll regret it afterwards. She shouldn't believe him. He is a liar. They shouldn't go sailing in this weather. The sea is very rough today. You ought to go to bed now. You look sleepy. He ought to take a holiday. He looks tired. We oughtn't to worry about them. They are quite grown up now. They oughtn't to be so careless. They'll knock someone down someday. The cardinal points of the compass.
The cardinal points of the compass are north, south, east, and west. A compass helps us find the way. Its needle points north and south. One end always points to the north. The other end always points to the south. We can tell the way by looking at the sun. Every midday, the sun is in the same position. This is the way to the south. If we stand facing south, we shall have the east on our left, the west on our right, and the north behind us.
Colors.
Snow is white. Coal is black. Ripe cherries are red. When unripe, most fruit is green. Lemons and grapefruit are yellow. Plums are red, green, yellow, or purple. The rainbow contains 7 colors. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. On a clear day, the sky is blue. On a dull, cloudy day, the sky is grey. At sunrise, the sky is usually pink. At sunset, it sometimes turns purple. Leaves are light green in spring. Most leaves turn brown and fall off the trees in autumn.
Revise your grammar and increase your vocabulary. Comparison of adjectives. This is a 3-layer cake. The chocolate layer is thin. The strawberry layer is thinner. And the coconut layer is the thinnest. Here are a pebble, a stone, and a rock. The pebble is not very big. The stone is bigger than the pebble, and the rock is the biggest of the 3. My elder son is a bank clerk. Our eldest daughter is an interior decorator. John was taken ill yesterday. He is worse today, but I hope he'll be better tomorrow. These are the best paintings you've ever painted. And those are the worst. I had little hope of succeeding. You were still less confident than I was. But she was the least confident of all. Relative clauses defining and non-defining.
The boys who live next door are very noisy. The old man who lives opposite my house has just broken his leg. The street that leads to the football field is a very busy one. The tree that stands near the gate is in blossom. My brother, whom you met yesterday, wants to speak to you. Bill, whom we saw at the party, has left for Helsinki. The London train, which should arrive at 1:30, is late. This train, which stops at all the stations, is always very crowded. My son, whose wife died 2 years ago, has just remarried. Yesterday, I met a boy whose father went to the same school as mine.
Word order. The position and order of objects. John gave me some cigarettes. He gave them to me. Helen lent a neighbor her electric fire. She lent it to her neighbor. Can you send them the parcel? Can you send it to them? The guide showed us the town hall. The guide showed the town hall to a group of tourists. Paul promised his eldest son a reward. Paul promised a reward to whoever could find his sunglasses. Jane lent a neighbor her sewing machine. Jane lent her sewing machine to the lady who lived next door. His aunt left him a large fortune. His aunt left a large fortune to all her nieces and nephews.
Everyday actions. Robert works in his London office 8 hours a day, 5 days every week, from Monday to Friday. He is the managing director of a firm of export and import merchants. Robert is an early riser. He likes to eat breakfast leisurely and read the morning paper over his cup of tea. He says goodbye to his wife and children, puts his hat on and goes out into the garden. He opens the garden gate, takes his car out of the garage, and he drives it into the city. He parks his car in the parking place near his office, locks the doors, walks across the street to the office building, and takes the lift up to his office. He greets his staff, takes his hat off, and hangs it on the hat rack. Then he sits at his desk and begins his work straight away. His secretary reminds Robert of all his engagements and business appointments for the day. Sometimes he goes out to visit his customers, and once a week he has a meeting with all the salesmen to discuss sales promotion. Robert comes back home at 5:30 and does some gardening till dinner time. After dinner, he watches television or reads a book. But he never sits up late. He goes to bed early in order to get a good night's rest. Everyday dialogues in English. At the railway station. James is at the booking office inquiring about the departure of trains for Cambridge.
I'd like a first-class ticket to Cambridge, please.
Single or return?
Do you save anything by buying a return ticket?
Yes, you save about 5 shillings. A single ticket is £6.12 and 6. A return ticket is £6.7 and 6.
How long is the return ticket good for?
It is good for 60 days.
And what happens if I'm unable to use the ticket within 60 days?
You can return the ticket to this office, and we will give you your money back.
Good. In that case, I'll take the return ticket. What time does the next train for Cambridge leave?
At 11 o'clock. The trains for Cambridge leave every hour on the hour.
Is there a dining car on the train?
Yes, you can have lunch at any time.
Is it a through train?
It makes 2 stops, but it is not necessary to change carriages.
May I have a timetable, please?
Certainly.
Well, I think I'll leave by the next train. May I have a seat facing the engine? I don't like travelling with my back to it.
Let me see. Yes, I have a window seat facing the engine. Would that suit you?
Yes, that'll suit me nicely.
Vocabulary. Injured. Pedestrians. Vans. Motorists. Collide. Lamppost. Carelessness. Rules. Obeyed. Amber. Colorblind. Speed limit. Level crossing. Crowded. Parking meter.